So man, it's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino. Y'all see the title? Hold on a second. Y'all see the title, man. Y'all really should commend me, man. Because I've been getting on earlier. I ain't been hitting y'all at 12 midnight and all this different stuff, man. Even though that's not gonna stop. I'm gonna still be coming in late sometimes. But y'all should commend me for getting in earlier and earlier, man. The other night, what time was it? About 9 something? Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in. I appreciate y'all's attendance and appearance on this Saturday night. It's Saturday night. The world is open back up. The world is open back up. What y'all think about that? Think that's smart? Saturday night, people are out clubbing, people out hanging out, doing what they do. But wherever y'all are right here with your big brother, so I appreciate that. Hit the like button as you come in. Y'all see the title. We're talking about attacking our weaknesses. Appreciate the love on the album. Yeah, we'll do a quick commercial real quick, man. Get it in early for those who might jump in on the live stream and then might not watch the whole thing. See, these things get better as time goes on. That's what y'all don't understand. A lot of y'all who come in and then you just dip in, you look in the door and then you say, what's going on now? Then you dip out. But as we go further into it, for all y'all who always hang for a little while, y'all see that as we go in, the conversation gets stronger and the seasoning starts to sink into the food and it starts to taste a little better. But y'all don't have this album, go get it. Y'all didn't know I had a new album out. Some of y'all didn't even know I got a new album out. You know, we don't have a machine behind us. We don't have this big corporate power behind us that when you ride down the street and you see me on billboards, when you turn on your TV, you're seeing commercials all on the major networks. When you listen to the radio, we don't have that. So we use the platforms available to us. So some of y'all may not have known. So that's why I keep plugging. Go get my new album. You want the CD, you go to southparkcoalition.net. Or if you want to get it digital, just go to any of the digital platforms and get it. But we finna get right to business, man. We ain't gonna play around with them. The subject tonight is attacking our weaknesses. And what does that mean, man? That means that God blesses us with talents. He blesses us with strengths and strong points and things that we are very good at, all of us. And when we have all these strong points, these strong qualities, sometimes we lean on those qualities so much that we neglect our shortcomings. We neglect the things that are not our strong points, our weaknesses. And sometimes people say, well, you know, I'm so good at this. I got so much strength in this area. I don't even need to address that. But if you are an individual who wants to max out and be the best you can and master as much as yourself as you can, then it's just a natural drive that you would have in you to want to master your weaknesses and turn your weaknesses into strengths. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to use a basketball analogy because y'all know I love the game and I always equate a lot of things in basketball to real life. If you got a person who's right-handed and they just predominate, they dribble with their right hand, dribble with their right hand, dribble with their right hand. Every time they make a move, they go to the right. Every time they go to the basket, they lay it up with their right. A smart defensive player is going to say, you know what? I'm going to see if he can drive to his left. I'm going to jump on his right hand and block him from going right. I'm going to prevent his right hand drive and see if he can go left. And you expose a guy when you jump on his right hand and you give him the whole left side, and he won't even go that way because he can't dribble with his left hand. He can't go to his left. That's his weakness. You've exposed his weakness. So in exposing that weakness, now that person potentially becomes a liability on the court and to his team, and you're not the same player. So what do you do in that situation? You come back next time around and you work on your left hand. You practice over and over again, driving with the left, finishing with the left, until that weakness becomes a strength. Because now when they hop on that right side on you, you can oop and go to your left, finish with the left. Same scenario with a guy who can't shoot. You got a guy who's super quick, and if you get too close up on him, he goes right by you. Then you say, I'm not quick enough to stay in front of this dude. Let me back up a little bit and see if he can shoot. So I'm gonna give him some space, and I realize, oh, this dude can't even shoot. So he has to go back, and now he's in the gym practicing his shot, he's eliminating his weakness. We have to do the same thing in life. We got to do the same thing in life, in our everyday life. There are weaknesses that we have in life in terms of ourselves, our character, our personalities, our intelligence, our ways of handling situations, adversity, things of that nature. And we have to make them be strengths. We have to strengthen ourselves in the way we deal with them in order to make us better people. There are people who have issues with anger. People who just seemingly for the slightest thing, they fly off the handle. They get aggravated. And the people around them are looking like, man, what's wrong with you? It's not that major. It's not that serious. Why are you coming unglued behind this serious situation? And the person is just so angry. And you can clearly see that there's a matter of a lack of control, and there's an issue there that they don't seem to have a grasp on. And some people who will be honest with themselves, they'll tell you, well, I have an anger problem. I've had to take anger management. I have problems controlling my temper. I go off. I lose it. People will admit to that because a lot of times the person who does that, they're aware of it. They're aware of that flaw that they have. And so the wise ones, they try to work on it. They try to work on that anger because they see how that can be a hindrance to them down the line. It can become an issue because you could be in a situation that requires you to be under control, a situation that requires you to have composure, and then you flip out and lose an opportunity. Or your anger could escalate and turn into a violent situation. You may be arguing with your wife or with your husband if you're a female, and instead of keeping the argument just okay, we just having our words, you may elevate that to where you may get violent with that person. That's a weakness because you are expressing yourself in a way out of frustration and out of anger that is over the top based on whatever it is that y'all are talking about. So that's something you have to work on. And if you work on it properly, you pray on it, you ask God to remove that spirit or to reduce that spirit in you, to give you control over that spirit, and then you start to work on it, then you find yourself in situations over time, if you work on it, where when you're in those situations that could potentially get volatile like that, you handle it in a more calm and mature fashion. And even if you still yelling and hollering, you under control. And now you've turned that weakness around. And it may not necessarily become a strength, but it might. Because when you're angry, you don't hear as well when you're angry. When you're mad, you don't hear as well. You don't hear as well. You only are focused on what you're trying to say and what you're trying to get out. So you screaming and yelling and going off, and now the other person's angry, and y'all just having a shouting contest at this point. So your hearing is nullified when your anger takes over. That's it's a very dangerous emotion. It is a weakness. It's a character flaw that a lot of people have. A lot of us have. See? Another weakness could be our worship of material things. Our worship of material things, our need and our quest to have jewelry or to have cars or to overspend on things that we don't necessarily have to have because we're trying to impress somebody else, or we're trying to present ourselves in a certain way to the masses for whatever reason we may have in our mind to think that that's important to do. So we may start living beyond our means. We may start spending money that we don't have, or money that should be going towards something else starts to go towards things that are working against us. And it's a weakness. So we have to gain control over our love of these material things. Now, is that to say that you shouldn't want to have nice things? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's all right to want to have nice things. It's all right to want to have a nice home, a nice car, but everything has to be prioritized as well. Everything has to come in a certain order. Y'all don't forget, hit the like button if y'all haven't already. Things have to be in the right order. See? And if things are happening in the right order and you are living within your means, then it's okay to have certain things. But when you have developed almost a sickness where you got $500 to your name and you spend $450 of it on some material item that you didn't even need, that's a weakness. So to turn that weakness into a strength is to learn how to budget your finances. It's to learn how to say, hold on now, I don't need that. To prioritize your wants and your needs, and to distinguish between your wants and your needs. See? That's what you have to do. Then it becomes a strength. Then if you got $50, you can make that $50 work for you more than somebody who may have $500 and they tricked it off. Let me shout out to the family real quick. Cigarello, we here, we up in this thing again, Rello. My brother, I appreciate the love and the donation. My brother, Martell Music is in the building. Tina P. Where you been, Tina? Tina, you must have been on vacation. You must have been in Honolulu, Hawaii, hanging out and balling out of control in Honolulu. We ain't seen you in a while. I'm just playing. Appreciate the love, T. You already know. You already know what it is. We're talking about turning your strengths into weaknesses. Now, the title said attacking our weaknesses. Now, think about that. To attack something, that means you just aggressively go at it. You aggressively go at it. You attack that weakness because you recognize that it is a weakness and it's something that you want to remove out of yourself, something you want to remove from your character. So you attack it. Picture the human body. Visualize the human body and the human immune system, the way your immune system works, the way our immune system works. If something foreign enters into your immune system, a sickness, the first natural thing that the immune system is designed by God to do is to attack that foreign thing that's in your body and remove it. This is a natural process that exists in your body, whether it be a common cold, COVID, pneumonia, whatever it is. The body is designed to know and understand what belongs in it and what does not belong in it. And that is immediately identified by the body as an enemy to your body and something that is a weakness. And in that moment, your body instantly springs into action and goes to work to rid itself of that problem. This is the approach that we have to have when it comes to the weaknesses that we have. But the first step, just like the human immune system does, the first step we have to do is recognize that we have a weakness. We got to recognize it first. Because denial is a bad boy, ain't it? Denial is real. And lack of awareness is real. Sometimes we don't even know that we have a weakness. We don't even think. It's like, what you mean? Somebody bring it to your attention. What do you mean? I don't do that. Yes, you do. So the recognition of the weaknesses, like they say, when people have an addiction, well, the first step is to admit you got a problem. Yeah. You have to admit and understand, okay, this is my weakness. And if you're a person who want to get better, you want to be better. The goal should be to want to see how far up into your God consciousness you can elevate. When people talk all the time, and we've heard different theories about this, people will say that we only use a certain percentage of our brain, and we only use about 6 to 7% of our brain. They say that a genius only uses about 10%. This is what is said. I don't know the science on that, but they say a genius uses 10% of their brain, right? So if all this they're saying is true, I don't know, but let's just play the game. If you and I are using 6-7% of our brain, and supposedly there's another 90 to 93, 94% that's untapped, supposedly. The general curiosity in me makes me want to know, I wonder what I could be if I was able to access the full capacity of my brain. I wonder what I could be. I wonder what I could do. I wonder what powers I could unleash if I was able to access that. So it should be a natural drive in us to want to elevate as high as we can in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and to expand our mind as far and wide as we can. Because the mind is an infinite thing. The brain is a finite object. You can take your brain, they can take your brain out your head, they can hold it in their hand, they can stick stuff in it, they can operate, they can touch it and whatever they want to do. But the mind is an abstract entity that you can't see. You can't see the mind. But the mind is able to expand as far as we expand. We have the capacity. We are the ones who expand our mind based on what we put in it. See? Brother Chris says, does that play in people's willingness to deal in truth? Absolutely. Because denial is people's willingness to block truth. Denial is when you know what the issue is, but you acting like it's not even an issue at all. So I don't have a weakness. No, man. I ain't got no. I ain't no. I'm not addicted to cocaine. I can stop smoking cigarettes whenever I want to. I'm not hooked on this. I'm not hooked. There's a denial when you come like that. So it is. You do have to have a willingness to deal in truth, but what the hardest truths to deal with are the truths of self. The hardest ones to deal with. We don't have no problem dealing with other people's truth, telling them what's wrong with them. We don't have no problem doing that. We'll even tell other people what's wrong with them, what's wrong with somebody else. Man, your boy, man, he crazy, man. Your boy, man, old girl, man, she's still on that stuff, man. She's still, we don't have no issues doing that. But then if somebody say, well, what about you? What about me? What you mean, what about you? What about you? What about your truth? See? What about your vice? What about my vice? See? So, yeah, it's a willingness. We have to have a willingness to deal in the truth of self in order to fix our weaknesses. It ain't easy to do. But that's the facts of it. So you take a drug addict. Take somebody that's on drugs real bad. And we look down on them. We look at them like they, dirty dope fiend or whatever we gonna call them, however we view them. We may even have known them before they got on drugs, and we may speak about how they was before they got on drugs. Man, that boy used to be cold. Man, old girl, boy, she used to be cold. And now all respect is gone. But every now and then, you'll see somebody who was what we call in the hood, who was just gone and out there bad on dope. And then you see him come back. You see him beat that addiction. You see it. You see it from time to time. Just like we know crackheads and dope fiends and dope head, pill heads, we know all these type of people. Powder heads, any kind of head you could think of, we know them. Some of them in your family, in our families, right? Just like we know them, it's that percentage too that made it back. What had to happen for them to make it back? It's 2 or 3 things that could bring them back. But I want to address one. I'll mention the other ones. Sometimes people will say, oh man, he got clean because he got locked up. He was in jail for 2 years and he wasn't able to get to it, even though you can pretty much get everything in jail these days. But he was in jail and he cleaned up in jail, and that's the only reason why he, or no, he got sick. He got sick and then he just stopped doing it. Then you have people that they look at themselves one day and they go, man, you know what? This ain't me, man. I can't do this, man. I can't live like this. I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting my family. I'm hurting my loved ones. I can't do this. Then they come to that moment, whether they prayed, whether they just dug deep, and they beat that addiction. They attacked that weakness by whatever means. And now they good. Some never go back. We see some go back, but some never go back to it. They successfully conquered that weakness. And that was an unnatural weakness, because if you get on dope or something, that's something that just somebody may have enticed you to do, tricked you to do, slipped on you, or you made a bad decision and tried it and you was gone after that. See? But another way, let me see. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick before I go into that. Hold on, I got to go back a little bit because I was running my mouth. I want to make sure I don't miss any jewels that y'all was dropping. South said my weakness is I get bored real quick. Yeah, boredom, attention span. And that happens. The way you got to try to do that is to just, let me see, I'm just going to do my best to find something that this person says that I can dwell on and focus on and get something out of. Sometimes people are just too boring. You can't get nothing out of it. You got to just move on. Cigarillo said humans need a mental immune system. We do. We got one. Everything starts in the mind. We have a God conscious. Marty Moore, my brother. We can't live in denial. Marcus Israel said, examine thyself daily. See, examining yourself daily, just that mental evaluation, just to see, because this is us on a daily basis. This is us. We just travel, we're going along. But as we're going along on that life journey, this is what happens. Sometimes we spike up a little bit when your mental level is doing pretty good, your vibration is pretty high. But then sometimes you can come back down, level out, and sometimes you dip down. You go into that lower self. And that lower self, boy, that's a bad boy. So every day you have to try to see if I was better today than I was yesterday. And if you honest again and you go, nah, I was on one today. I got to tighten it up and be better tomorrow. God willing. So yeah. We have to work on self. Attacking your weaknesses, man. Let me tell you something that people don't talk about a lot on this level, and that will really help us in attacking our weaknesses, and that's fasting. Fasting is one of the greatest ways to attack your weakness and to strengthen yourself, because fasting in one aspect is the denial of something that is natural. Like you say, well, man, we're doing a fast where we're not going to eat for 24 hours. We're not going to eat for 48 hours. We're not going to eat for 3 days. Or some of y'all that do the little intermittent fasting, or we're going to go 6 hours without food and whatever the case might be. We're not going to drink. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Fasting builds up your strength, because mentally and physically you are denying yourself of something that's natural. Food and water, right? But we can't relegate fasting to just the physical, just the food and water, the food and drink part. Fasting is also a mental process, a spiritual process. It's a connection with the Creator. You reading, you praying, you meditating, you trying to build that fortitude within yourself that will allow you to add building blocks of strength for the next times you are in potentially weak situations. So if you say, well, man, hey, man, I'm fasting for 2 days. I'm not eating for 2 days. Then you go over your mother's house, your grandmother's house, and she cooking Sunday dinner. And you smelling it. And then the family is there, and everybody in there eating. Boy, you ain't gonna eat none of this, boy. And in your mind, you're like, man. But that's your opportunity to attack a weakness. Eating might be your weakness. You might, I eat too much. I eat bad food. Let me put myself in the midst of the very thing that I struggle with and see if I can deny myself of it. That's how you build it up. Some people will proclaim, okay, I'm fasting, I'm fast. And the second they get tempted, I'll do it tomorrow. That's weakness. That's weakness. It's not gonna be easy. You suffering through. You suffering through it. That's how it goes. That's part of the process. You suffering through it. But the feeling that you have when you make it to the end of a fast is priceless. You can't put a price on it. You can't trade it for nothing, because you have a sense of accomplishment. You've accomplished something that you might not have thought you could do, because you're going to hit a rough spot in the middle of that fast, depending on how long it goes. If you say you're going 3 days, when you get to that second day, if you make it to that second day, you're going to start struggling. You're going to be in another dimension, because we used to eating every day. This is something we do. We eat every day. But when you deny yourself of that, it's also a process of conditioning your mind and your body. Say it all the time. It's like lifting weights. You lift till you master one weight, then you add some more on there. So if you can't go 5 hours without eating, and just feeling like you're gonna die, 5 hours, you ate at noon, that's 4:30, and you acting like you about to die. You need to try to go a whole day without eating, because you're not gonna die if you do that. Then practice that and get that day. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches in How to Eat to Live. I ain't making this up. This is what I got from the How to Eat to Live, that I need to practice more. He teaches you how to fast, how to build up your conditioning process to where you can get to a point where you like, okay, now I've mastered one day. I can do one day. Some days I'll go a day without eating by accident. Some days you're just so busy. Well, I'm so busy some days I don't have time to eat. It's like you look up and it's been 24 hours since you had a meal. I didn't try to do it, but my body, it's easy to do a day. Now, if you start talking about, well, let's go 2, let's go 3. Now, talk that noise now. See? So you mentally build yourself up, and then you master levels. You master the levels like playing a video game. You master the levels until you master the game. In this case, the game is you. You are who you're trying to master. But you'll never do that if you succumb and bow down to your weaknesses. If you just reach the point where you just decide to yourself, well, hey man, that's just how I am, man. I can't change it, man. It's just what it is, man. I can't win against that. Then okay, you'll never win against that. But we go through life not knowing how extraordinary we really are, how supernatural we really are. And I don't care who you're looking at. I don't care if you're looking at a bum on the street. He was not born or created to be what you see him as right there. That's not who he is. Just the condition he's in right now. So whoever you are or whatever shortcomings that you might have, that's not who you are. That's just where you are right now. But whose job is it to pull yourself out of where you are to become who you are? That's our job. We got to do that for ourselves. Can't feel sorry for yourself, can't whine, can't complain, can't cry, can't pout. You figure it out. Don't pout, figure it out. See? So recognize what your weakness is. Your weakness can be revealed through your gift, through your strength. Because your strength is in whatever gift you have, whatever you're good at. But even in whatever you're good at, it's a part of that that you could be better at. You could be better in. See? It's a part of that you could be better in. It's a way that you could be better. Well, let's bring it more down to earth. My Life Explorer said your mind can overcome your weakness. Yeah, that's the only hope. It is. It's in your mind. Everything starts at the mind. The mind is the root. See? Chris Clevercraft says, what? You're not going to save me, Kay? No, I can't save you, man. I can only, with God's permission, just try to give you a little game that I got from somebody else. And then you use that the same way I'm trying to use what I got. But in the end, I can't live your life for you. You got to live your life for yourself. Your mama can't live your life for you. Your daddy can't live your life for you. Your cousin, your wife, your best friend, your husband, they can't live your life for you. You got to live your life. You got to walk your path. You got to put your shoes on. You got to put your shoes on and walk. Decipher. SPC2G is in the building. The room just got smarter. The question I ask myself is, am I better than my best self? Am I better than my best self? And the thing we have to do is we have to first ask ourselves the questions, have we even seen our best self? Have we recognized who our best self is? There's a version of you throughout your life. Throughout your life, there has been a version of you that was the best that it's ever been. That's not to say that it's in the stratosphere somewhere. A person's best might still been like suspect, depending on who the person is, right? But there's a version of us that at some point in our life, that's the best version we've ever been. Some of us recognize what that version was, some of us don't. So the quest to be our best self or be better than our best self, it just is simplified down to just saying every day, I want to make myself be better than I was the previous day, right? Which is easy to do because I say it's easy to do, but the components are easy to recognize because unless we suffering from some severe memory loss, we should be easily able to recollect our actions from the previous day. What did I do yesterday? Oh man, I laid around. I ain't do nothing. I got up, went to the dope house, smoked some crack, came home, got drunk, beat my kids. I can be better than that today. See? So it's about just elevating every day the best that you can. The best that you can. Duke Togo says, how do you forgive yourself? I almost did a video on this the other night. And I might have done one before. I can't remember. I'll be forgetting. I'll be doing stuff I already did. But forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things that for a person to do in certain situations. Because when you have a conscience, when you got a conscience, when you genuinely feel remorse about the wrong things that you do, and you understand certain pains that you caused people and certain damage that you've done to people based on actions, even when those people forgive you, even when God forgives you, sometimes we have a problem forgiving ourselves. Sometimes we like, oh man, yeah, I know he forgave me, she forgave me, but the guilt I'm feeling is so extreme. And that speaks to you having a soul. But at some point, we have to forgive ourselves for the things we've done. We can't carry it forever. Especially when you know that that's a behavior or that's an action that is not reflective of who you really are. And it's something you know you wouldn't do again. You know you messed up. You messed up. We messed up. But you say, okay, man, you know, that was a one-off. I would never do that again. I would never do that again. So let it go. Pray for your forgiveness and let it go, and just work to not do it no more. Let it go. Don't do it no more. Not being able to forgive yourself can be considered a weakness. See? Dollar Bill, y'all, says one step at a time. You can't climb the mountain with a single step. You cannot do a vertical leap and be at the top of the mountain. You can't do it. One step at a time. Even in the attacking of your weaknesses, it has to be strategic in certain situations. Now, there are other things you need to just flat out just cut off cold turkey, just stop. But certain things are a little more intricately detailed than that, and you got to do it in steps. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Because when you take that first step, it's no longer a 1,000-mile journey. Now it's 999 miles. Which speaks to the principle that every little bit counts. Never dismiss what we believe to be small. We can't dismiss things in our life that we just feel like are small. Everything counts, and every little thing, one way or the other, changes the whole perception or description of a thing. If you got $1 million, you are a millionaire, right? You can officially be considered a millionaire if you have $1 million on the dot. But what happens if you loan somebody $1? You're not a millionaire no more. If you had $1 million even, the whole perception is changed. The whole description is changed off of one little move. So we can round you off as, oh yeah, he's a million. Nah, but technically, if you got $1 million and you loan somebody $1, you're not a millionaire no more. So little things, it's no such thing as little things. No such thing as little things. Romp Chomper said, I've accomplished great things doing it a step at a time. Baseball analogy. I can step up to the plate and I can hit a home run on the first swing. And people say, well, that's a home run. It's 1-0. But I may not have home run power. I might not be the guy who got the power to knock the ball 420 feet into the stands. So I might have to get a little base hit. Now I'm on first base. A guy lays down a bunt, sacrifices, moves me over to second. I steal third. Then another dude pops out into to right field, sacrifice fly, I tag, and I come in and score. It's still 1 run. I just had to go through different steps to get to that 1 run. I didn't hit the home run the first time. That's how we got to look at life in terms of our goals that we're trying to reach. You're going to have people like we talk about the rap game all the time. You got people who blew up overnight, seemingly. People who just, man, 1 minute they was doing their thing, and 2 months later, they was the biggest, hottest rapper in the world. They was on the Grammy Awards. They was doing all this stuff here. If that's your goal. Then you have other people who come up on the rough side of the mountain where it's like, nah, it took me 10 years, man. Nah, I had to struggle, bro. I had to do this. I took a lot of setbacks. I had a lot, but they still got there. They just had to go through a different road. But one thing I'll say to y'all, man, and y'all are old enough to understand, those who are old enough, those who have lived a little life, y'all can understand this. We gain greater appreciation for something when we go that hard road to get it. Tell me I'm lying. If all you ever had was just being spoon-fed and just you had it easy all your life and anything you needed, it was bling, 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 magically just given to you, you don't have the same appreciation for a person who had to scrap and struggle and fight for every little thing that they ever got. So you have the person who never knew what it was like to get their lights turned off because the bill didn't get paid. They never knew what it was like to walk in, to come home and click the light switch, and then the lights don't come on and you realize, man, okay, the bill didn't get paid. They never experienced that. But if you're somebody who's experienced that, especially multiple times, then what happens is you have an appreciation for lights. If you open the refrigerator and ain't nothing in there but the light bulb and some water, you have an appreciation. You don't waste food. See? And when you become the person who is earning the money that keeps the lights on, earning the money that puts food in the refrigerator and all that, you look at things totally different from somebody who's always been has something given to them. You look at it different. You don't leave lights on in every room you go in. When you walk in the room, you cut the light on. When you walk in the room, you instinctively cut the lights off because you are conscious of the bill. See? See what y'all talking about, man. Read the scripture that Chris Clevercraft has dropped. And he said, Matthew 7:13-13, enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. Yeah, that narrow gate, it's hard to get through that narrow gate, even for a skinny dude like me. That's right, Aaron. Mama be like, turn that light off. See? I'm gonna set it up at some point, y'all, where I can take live calls and stuff, because a lot of people are saying that. So one of these days, I'm gonna set it up where I'll be able to create a number, a call-in number, and I'll take some of y'all calls, and we can call in live and have these conversations where I can hear y'all's conversation, man. All right, it's about that time for y'all to let me know y'all's location. Drop your location. You know, I like to know where y'all are chiming in from, man. Mello Rodriguez. Yeah, Duke, I'll be in Kingsville, Texas next Saturday. This time next Saturday, inshallah. I'll be in Kingsville, Texas. We'll be performing live out there with the homie Sin. Kingsville, Texas, man. Mind over matter. I see you, Pee Wee. Mind over matter is talking about you overcome your physical body. Yeah, the false you, which is the ego. Those without guilt is to be without conscience. If you without guilt, you don't have a conscience. K-13, good teaching. Hit the like button if you haven't already. See where y'all coming in from, man, all over the planet. Ohio, Minnesota. What's up, Jovan? Appreciate that, Jay Potter. Canada, Superior, Orange County, Cali, Ridgemont, Mo City, salute. Harlingen, Texas, Rio Grande Valley, Denver Harbor, Iraq, Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Zealand. Man, StreamYard, I got, man, I need some help. I'm gonna holler at your dollar bill. I need some help. Vancouver, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, Zwolle, Louisiana. I've been there. Columbus, Georgia, G County, Rotterdam, Alabama, Georgia. Man, we all over the world, man. We all over the world. We all over this planet. Seattle. Telepathic frequencies. I know you know what I'm talking about, Kerry. Yeah, telepathic frequencies. You feel free to elaborate, though. Richmond, Virginia, Sioux City, Iowa. A merciless butcher. He's a merciless butcher. Yeah. Oklahoma. Saginaw, Michigan. Okay. All over the place, man. Y'all all over the planet, man. Macedonia, Mexico. I see you, Ralph Percy. Vegas. I need to come to Vegas, man. San Antonio. Daytona Beach. Yeah, me and Nip have talked about doing an album together for years. We're going to do it one day. Amarillo. What you said? Let me see. No, I can't skip over. Is that Warraba, Australia? Is it Warraba or Warraba? I can't skip over that. I didn't see it. Man, we everywhere. It's still coming, man. California, the Philippines. Dynamic Gorgon says, this is my first time catching the live streams. I was going to ask if you ever see yourself working with cannabis in the future. I mean, we worked together before. I'm always down, man. I'm always sing Cannabis's praises, man, because he's one of the best to ever do it, and he's still underrated, in my opinion. Yeah. Opelousas, what's up, Blizzak? How many unique words can you think of that relate to this specific topic? Gotta sit down and think. El Paso, Texas. Yeah, Joe, I'll come to El Paso. I'll be in Brownsville in September. I'll be back in Corpus next month. I'll be in Kingsville next week. So we working. God is great. I see you, Jacory. Darko. Figure out what your weaknesses are, man, and go to war with them. Be honest with yourself and say, man, I can be better in this part of my life. I can be better in this category of my life, and go to war with them, man. Your weakness might be laziness. It might be procrastination. Think about how much time you lose. Think about the value of time, how valuable time is. And that should make you say, man, when I got a chance to get it, I need to be getting it. I need to be putting in my work. I need to utilize those seconds, minutes, and hours to the best of my ability. Especially when we're around here claiming that it's something that we want out of life. See, there's a lot of people that say, I want to do this, I want to do that, but are not willing to put in the work. You say you want to be this, you say you want to get to this level, but you're not willing to put in the work. Interesting point from Ruth Larkin. She said, my weakness is forgiving my enemy. That's absolutely a weakness, Ruth, that you acknowledging. That would spark a whole debate, because there are people who still subscribe, or who subscribe to the thought of that you're supposed to love your enemy, pray for your enemy. If your enemy smites you in your right cheek, you should give him your left cheek and let him hit you in that one. There are people who believe that. I can't love my enemy. That's a contradiction. If you was my enemy, I wouldn't love. If you were not my enemy, I love you. And by you being my enemy, I can't love you. I couldn't consider you an enemy and love you at the same time. Tahir 9, thank you for the donation, Tahir. I appreciate that. Appreciate you coming in and being a part of this. Disciple said, maximize every moment. See, look, this is how powerful that you are. This is how powerful the mind is. That could be a 1 hour window of procrastination, a 1 hour window of time where you decide to use that hour to procrastinate, to lay around a little bit longer. That hour could have been the moment where everything lined up for you mentally and you put together the greatest thing you could ever put together, whether it be an idea or a song or whatever it is, a thought. Because the same way that a basketball player goes into a zone when they get hot, they just can't miss. He's zoned out. We go into creative zones Everybody in here that ever just, I'm talking like to creators, just rappers, singers, writers, poets, whatever the case is, or whatever it is that you do. But I'm using the writers as an example in this particular case, because it's times where you writing and creating where you just like, man, these ideas are just, it's like somebody got your head and just pouring ideas out of your head. Everything that comes out is great. Everything that comes out is just clicking on another level of consciousness. And in your mind, you can't even believe you're doing it. But it was within that pocket of time that truth is, you wouldn't have been in that zone. You wouldn't have got that creativity out 3 hours from now. You might not have got it out yesterday. It happened right in that moment that it was supposed to happen in, because sometimes you're not on that level. You could be the greatest writer in the world. You're going to have moments where the greatest writer in the world can always put something down that's formidable, that's really good. But then it's moments where you're way up here. So Michael Jordan averaged 30 points a game. Yeah, he's going to get 30. You know he's going to get 30. But it's nights where he'll hit 60. But what if he decided he didn't want to play that night? See, that's how you equate that. You never know when your great moment is going to present itself. That's why you can't play with none of the moments. I wake up out of my sleep to write down some bars, because they'll come to me in my sleep. And as bad as I want to keep sleeping, I know I got to get up and write them bars out, because if I don't, by the time I wake up 3-4 hours later, I might have forgot them, or I might remember it, but I don't remember exactly how I was hearing it earlier, and it's not clicking like it was. And I don't want to disrespect the law of creativity that gave me the God-given blessing of that idea right in that moment. I got to get it. I got to get it. See? Laziness is a weakness. What's up, E? Hey, man, my mechanic is in here, man. My homie E, man. Y'all see him? Eric Ballas. He never fixed the same thing twice on my car, ever. When he fixed it once, it's fixed. See? Attack your weaknesses. Recognize them and attack them. Because guess what happens? And this is something we haven't talked about real quick. People seek out your weaknesses. When people see how good you are in something, or how strong you are in an area, they don't just accept how strong you are in that area. They don't just go, yeah, some do, but other people look at it like they have envy and a hate for you in their heart. They looking like, I know it's something about him. It's a weakness. It's a way to penetrate and bring him down. They seek out your weaknesses. They want to find that vulnerable spot. And when they find it, they're going to bring it out. They're going to mention it. They want to exploit it. They want to expose it. Might not even know you. See? If it's an opponent in some field, then he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to bring out your weakness. But don't get mad at the person for bringing out your weakness. You really should thank the person for bringing out your weakness because you might not have ever addressed it. So when they address it, you take the challenge and say, well, you know what? I could be better in that area. That is kind of a weak point for me. Let me work on that and eliminate that from the conversation. Now you can't say nothing. You should thank that person. Thank the person who said, oh yeah, he all right, but he don't rap right on the beat. Sometimes he off, he ain't right with precise. Okay, you listen, oh, you know what? He kind of right. Let me be honest with you. Okay, let me get tight in the studio. See? Minister Farrakhan said, he said, your critics are your best teachers. Your critics are your best teachers. But this is the mistake that we make. We make the mistake if somebody gives us a critique, regardless of how they say it, we take it personal. We getting our feelings behind it. We call them haters. Even when they give a constructive critique, somebody could say it in the most respectful, nicest way, you still get mad because you're sensitive. But even if they say it in a way that might be borderline disrespectful, so man, he ain't all that. Find out why they say that. And then be honest with yourself enough to go, all right, you know, I can see how that could be valid, how what he's saying could be valid. If you disagree, then you disagree. But sometimes you can look at somebody saying, you go, you know what, just to be real, I understand why they said that. That is a part, that is something I could work on. Work on it, get better at it, master it, and then thank the person. They made you better. Made you better. Sometimes our weakness is being sensitive, not being strong enough to accept criticism. How is you gonna get better? Everybody ain't gonna like you. Think everybody gonna like everything you do? Somebody gonna have a problem with what you do, no matter how good you do it. Click on any video on YouTube. Just pick any artist. Find somebody that got 30, 40 million views on a video. 100 million. It's people on YouTube that some of their videos got 100 million views. Some close to 1 billion. 800 million views. 30 million views. When you see a video like that, look at the likes. You're going to see 240,000 likes. That's real impressive. Then when you look right to the next side of that, you might see 20,000 dislikes. That tells you right there that no matter how great you are, 30 million views, 50 million views, is still going to be a nice chunk of people who didn't like it. So what you going to do? You're going to try to locate all 20,000 of those people? Read the comments? Oh man, this is jamming. Oh, I love this song. Oh, this song is great. Oh, this song is great. Oh, wait a minute. This song is trash. She can't sing. Everybody not gonna like you. See? Got to get strong, man. Got to be strong. Take it on the chin. Okay, you don't like me? Okay. Why? Well, man, I think that. And people will actually respect you when you accept that criticism like a G. Now, I ain't saying let people disrespect you now, because some people just want to talk crazy. Some people just want to troll. They want to try to get a rise out of you. They don't have a dog in the fight. They just want to try. I ain't talking about I'm talking about people who honestly just have their reasons for maybe not liking what you said, or liking your song, or liking your whatever, liking your work. It ain't gotta be music or nothing. You could be an attorney. They may not like how you present your closing arguments. See? Let's work on ourselves, man. Come up with T-Rash. One love, man. I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace.